Okay, so election season is finally underway. The 4th of July is the date, and unlike Rishi Sunak's announcement yesterday, I am going to keep this short and to the point. The first thing I want to say is that the Daily Express saying is that Rishi Sunak is the man fighting for Britain's future. I am going to answer this with a very hearty and a very, very collective fuck off. Yeah, that's you know how well this is going to turn out when I'm literally just telling the Daily Express to fuck off, and I'm also telling the Daily Express to the Daily Mail to fuck off by saying that now is Britain's time to choose. Oh, very, very, very kind of you. You mean to say that if this didn't happen, then Britain wouldn't get the choice? Goodness knows what will happen if Labour actually wins this, and you know what? Will they say, well, Britain's movement of choice doesn't count? We'll say about that. It makes about as much sense as standing outside in the rain for 10 minutes, but I'll get to that very shortly. So, what's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks, which I believe July 4th is at least 6.5 weeks away or something like that. But basically, there's not really that much time for all parties to actually put their best foot forward, and every moment is going to be valuable from here on in, especially because not only has Labour's strategies and their pledges have sort of been announced this time last week, but also the Conservatives are going to have to exceedingly sort out a lot of their PR problems, ranging from the following: the Reform Party being a thing, the SNP being a thing, the Liberal Democrats being a thing, the Green Party, the Independents, Labour, the fact that 14 years is too little, too late, and the fact that, well, in the wake of many, many Conservatives not only jumping ship to Labour, but also just stepping down entirely, you've got to be wondering to yourself exactly what does the Conservatives have up their sleeve? What is it about this government, and I'm going to ask you personally, what is it about this government right now that you like and you agree with and something you are absolutely going to be alongside with? Because listen, I'm not going to tell anybody who they can and cannot vote for. That's completely unfair. But all I'm asking you is to, well, at least consider exactly what you're doing and then think about it before you actually do it. I know it goes without saying, but you know what? You should have a you should have a very logical reasoning or rationale for doing something before you actually do it. And speaking of, it really does not help Rishi Sunak's cause the very day when he announces the general election, but spends 10 whole minutes standing outside Downing Street in the piss rain and his entire suit gets soaked. I don't quite know what I'm meant to add to it, so I'm just going to say it for how it is. Is that the idea of a prime minister who knows what he's doing and has your interests at heart, when he doesn't have the common sense? And yes, I know I'm paraphrasing the Reform Party for 1 minute, but you know what? Hey, turnabout is fair play, am I right? So you're voting for a man who doesn't even have the common sense to bring an umbrella out from Downing Street to make his announcement. Or if he was that concerned about the rain, he could have made it 5 minutes instead of 10 and literally still got the same point across. You know why I mention this? Because I watched Sunak's apology to the victims of the blood scandal that have been ignored for years and years, and I listened to the whole thing, and one thing that I absolutely am now convinced when it comes to Sunak is that whether he's trying to read during the coronation for King Charles III, or whether he's trying to apologise or hold an announcement for an election, one thing that really does not help Rishi Sunak is that he is very long-winded and he's really good at saying a lot of words, but there is no meaning to any of them. Because that's what Rishi Sunak sort of is to me at this point. He's just a man who thinks he's very, very important, but he doesn't say or do anything important. He's just sort of a figurehead. He is a constitutional prime minister. He is only a prime minister in name only because, well, I guess it's his turn now. And as the weeks will go on, this is sort of Rishi Sunak's big moment. If he wants to be taken seriously, then I suggest he does something very bold, very, very methodical, and do something that's actually going to get people on his side, instead of once again talking about how Labour has no plan and that he needs to keep his party absolutely in line. You may also say this is something that Keir Starmer needs to do, and you know what? I absolutely agree. Because whether you like this or not, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll conclude it by saying this, remember, I'll be voting, you will be voting. Well, you may not vote. I can't say whether you should vote or not, but bear in mind, they're going to be relying on people like me and people like you to help these people get into power. That's how it's going to work, and, well, they rely on your support. So, are you going to give them your support? What merits them to put faith into you for you to give them their support? Well, we've got 6.5 weeks to do this, and, well, I can't wait, personally, because, to be honest, there is going to be such turmoil, there's going to be such an unending supply of propaganda and hatred and spite thrown left, right, and centre, that genuinely it's going to feel like the beginnings of, let's say, a long drama-filled series of Love Island. Love Island's coming back, actually, and I don't watch it, but I feel like it's just worth announcing at this point. So, with all those being in place, thank you for listening. And at least, I have the sense to, actually film indoors where it's not raining outside, so there's that as well. Good luck, everyone.